Hi everyone, this is 15th of November 2018. In this session, we will learn how to selectively enable or disable precompiled header, also how to use namespace alias. Please do not use using namespace std in global scope. If you are using this using declarative statement, it can cause a lot of problem in your later software development. Also, if you ever have to use using namespace directive, then confine each scope to its enclosing block. The reason you should not use using declarative syntax in your C++ software development is very simple. This is one of my real application, productive level application. As you can see, there is some number of projects. These are all libraries, DLL libraries. These all library use different framework. For example, this is using .NET framework WinForm namespace, and this is developed using C#, and this is developed using C++ CLI application. All these libraries are consumed in EasyWord's main MFC application. This is MFC application. So the whole program is used to build this application. My point is that in real production level software development, you are going to use a lot of heterogeneous framework in your software development. In such case, namespace plays very important role to prevent name clashes. Also note that precompiled header is a blessing, it is not a hindrance. I will create a simple application, console application. Instead of selecting this, you can select this one as well and click OK. If you want to disable precompiled header, then unselect this one, but you can select this one if you want to use precompiled header. Click OK. Please note that in any CPP code, the first line should be include PCH header file. In this case, this program will compile this header file each time you build IOStream header file will be recompiled again. Then copy this block, cut, and paste it to PCH header file here. If you move it like this, then this precompiled header, this IOStream header will be compiled only once. Ctrl F5. Okay, it works. In some case, however, you do not want to use precompiled header. I will add one source code here. For example, CPP file source. If you are going to use precompiled header, you have to include PCH header first, like this. But if you do not want to use precompiled header, then you probably have to include IOStream. Then you create a function int_sum, int_a, int_b, like this. Then return a plus b. In this case, this file will not use precompiled header. Then right click this source file, properties. Then make sure all configuration, all platform is selected. Then select CPP, precompiled header here. Say not using precompiled header. Not using precompiled header. Then in such case, this file, this CPP file will not use precompiled header. Then in your main program, you can declare int_sum, int. You have to declare some function. You can use std cout sum 1 2 std and there. Now build Ctrl F5. Okay, it works successfully. You may think qualifying std namespace is a hindrance, so you want to change it like this using namespace std. Okay, or even in some case you can copy this and put it here like this, then save. Here you can remove all std namespace qualification like this, then build Ctrl F5. Okay, it works successfully, but please don't do this. First, don't put namespace here. Don't put namespace declaration here. Please don't. I will explain why you should not do this. And here, if you ever have to use namespace declaration like this, then please remove it in the global scope. That instead put it in the scope where you are going to use namespace like this. Please do like this. This is because to prevent name clashes. Now Ctrl F5 once again. Okay, it works. Then we are going to add one more function here. int max, int a, int b, like this. Because you have some strange-minded person, you are some kind of weird person. Instead of passing the maximum of two values a and b, probably you want to return product of a and b in this case. Then you copy this part of header and you declare here. Then you would like to call it like this: cout max 1 and 2, and there. Now build Ctrl F5. Okay, it works. I will change it to 2. Ctrl F5 again. It should give 6 as expected. Now in some reason you are going to use standard library algorithm, then you probably want to use algorithm. Include algorithm. You are going to use the standard library algorithm like this, and you want to use max. Cout max. Now you want to find the greater of two numbers, and there. Now it can cause problem. Now let's run Ctrl F5. Okay, this probably can be wrong because you want to use the std from standard library. Then you have to put like this. Okay, now this is the greater of the two numbers. In some case, this kind of programming is okay, but instead of doing this, I highly recommend you like this. Don't do this. Instead, using std cout, using std, and there. Try to use like this code, and instead of doing this, make it into a namespace. Talk, play, fun, for example, enclose it in namespace. Now these are in namespace block, and here you have to do like this: namespace talk, play, fun, like this. Then in this case, you now have to prepend namespace. Now check these two lines of code. This max comes from talk, play, fun namespace, and this max comes from std namespace. When your program becomes very big, like tens of thousands of lines, or even millions of lines of code, this way of programming is the best way to prevent name clashes. Now Ctrl F5. Okay, it works as expected. So if you want to create very big program like this in production level, please try to always use namespace declaration like this. This has added benefits like std. If you forgot to cout, then if you prepend the namespace like this, IntelliSense gives you the candidate of the routine. Also, if you cannot remember the routine name, by prepending a namespace like this, IntelliSense gives you the candidates of the routine in the namespace. This way of programming is much easier, and you can create very big program. So namespace is not a hindrance, but it is a blessing. when the namespace name, such as talk play fun, is very long or nested, you can use namespace alias like this. I will add one header file here. I will just put header. Then here. Then I will copy this namespace to this header and save. Here I will include header, then save. I will arrange it like this, and I will add one more namespace here. For example, namespace hidden. I will say hide int max int a int b return a less than b. Then I am passing the greater b a. I created a namespace inside the namespace here. Then it should be like this: namespace hide int max int int. Okay, then save it. Then here in the project we can use, if we can access the namespace, we can access this max like this: std, no, just the cout, talk play fun, hide max 2 3, and there. Now Control F5. Okay, it works like this. Say this, in some cases this can be very long and it can be a hindrance, it can be quite troublesome or tedious. Then you can define like this here or here using name space hide talk play fun hide. Okay, this is called namespace alias. Then instead of doing this, you can do like this, because we introduced hide to be namespace hide in talk play fun. By introducing this, or you can just copy it here. Now it works. This is called namespace alias. Now Control F5 again. Okay, it works successfully. By using this is called namespace alias. By using namespace alias, you can make very long namespace names shorter. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thanks for watching.